Hello everybody, welcome back. I am super excited because it is May already and oh my gosh, I have so much to catch you up on. Okay, first things first, you probably noticed that in April there were no videos in relationship to goals and dreams and the progress and how things were coming along, and that was intentional. I honestly just needed a break. It was a lot. I felt like it was a lot for me to film each week these videos and like give you updates and talk about what I was doing, what my plans were, how it was coming along, and there was that. It was a lot to do, but more so than that, I just felt like I could have, and that I should really use that time to actually do the things that I needed to do and to do the things that were going to move me closer to my goals. So for the month of April, I took a step back and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do videos every week. I am just going to take action toward my goals. And that turned out to be very interesting. I learned a lot. I learned a lot in April. And one of the things that I learned is that moving forward, I am going to be smarter and wiser with my time. And that means that I am not going to be doing videos every week in relation to my goals and dreams here on YouTube. Instead, I'm going to be posting updates, but those updates are going to be over on Instagram. Now, I will do a monthly video. So once a month, I will do a video here on YouTube where we go over the big goals that I have for the quarter and then what I have for the month broken down. I am gonna talk about the progress that I made, the lessons that I learned, and my big takeaways for the month. I just feel like there's better, it's just better that way, all the way around. It's less work for me, considering the fact that I work a full-time job, a part-time job, and I'm doing this. It's doing the most, so I'm gonna slow it down. And then on top of that, I just think that it's better. I have the time and the energy to really focus on accomplishing my goals and showing you what that looks like, as opposed to just kind of talking about it and saying, these are my plans, this is what I want to do, or I didn't do this because I'm fill in some blank. No, it's about priorities and actually doing what needs to be done to prioritize my goals is what's important. So yes, monthly videos instead of weekly videos will be here on YouTube. With all that being said, let's talk about the things that I accomplished in April. Okay, the first thing that I accomplished this month was getting a grip on my finances. Okay, that's not true. It wasn't the first thing, but it was at the top of the list. I'm very proud and excited about it. This has been something that I've been in denial about. I'm an adult. I should not be in denial when it comes to my finances, but we all have different coping skills and mechanisms, and mine for the past, I'd say 2 months for sure, 2.5 has been denial. And I'm really thankful because this month in April, I got together with someone that I absolutely trust, especially when it comes to finances. Finances are so intimate, you know, and I feel like it's very easy for people to judge you and judge like, oh, you shouldn't do this with your money and you shouldn't do that with your money. And they don't take into consideration a lot of other things. Or if I were you, I would have done this, or I would have purchased this. And that's all nice and dandy, but it doesn't actually help, right? And so I have someone that I trust and that I love dearly. And we sat down, we went through the numbers, and it actually was not as bad as I thought, which is woohoo. And when it comes to my debt payoff, which is something that I I would, like, total transparency, I want to tell you I've been working towards, and actually I've just been working because I haven't been paying it off. So I've just been taking this extra cash and doing whatever else with it. It's been wild. Anyway, looking at it and being like, oh my gosh, I got in my own way. That's one thing that I do realize. I let fear distract me when it came to my finances, and that distraction caused me to put my head in the sand and not take action. And so here I was, just like in denial. I'm just gonna make sure all my major bills are paid, and that's not great either, especially because I'm on the road to creating generational wealth. And it's like, I know better, and I know that I can do better, but when we're struck with fear, we tend to compromise on certain things out of fear. And so that was another lesson that I learned that we'll get into more detail with, but it just, I'm very proud of myself because big goal, I got a grip on my finances. Yes. All right, my next goal, my next accomplishment for the month is that I started prioritizing my health. So since January, I have just, as you guys know, I have been working. I have been working 2 jobs and having my eye on a specific goal. And it's been good, but it's also come at the cost of my health. So I just had to really make the choice of like slowing down and improving my health, or improving my health and staying, at the same pace, but then having burnout, which that's terrible. Both of those options together are a terrible way to go. And so unfortunately for me, I had some health things come up, and it was like I didn't have a choice. Making my health a priority was an absolute must. And so that is what I did this month. And it was very interesting. A lot, still processing a lot of things, but it's not terrible. I'm alive and I'm doing well, and this is just a little blip on the radar, and it's not like the end all be all, so that's okay too. I am thankful that I had this, like, hey, make your health a priority for your future sake and do it now. And it's nothing like serious. It's nothing like cancer or anything like that. So praise God. But it is one of those things, like, if I know the life that I want to live and I know the future that I want to have, and in order to have that future, I need to be healthy and whole, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And so this month, it was really great for me to take into consideration my physical health and make that a priority, and without guilt or shame. So yay. My next big goal for this month was to go to the Real Estate Investors Association meeting here in Fort Myers. Didn't even know that was a thing. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited and happy that I have found this association. Just, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And this was a big accomplishment for me because my big goal for this quarter is to wholesale my first property. And I know the steps that I need to take. I have the idea, the concept. Now it's just implementing those and like actually doing what needs to be done. And as I do those things, sometimes there are areas that are a little bit gray. I'm not too sure, like, should I do it this way? Should I do it this way? Should I use this contract? Should I use that contract? And going to the Real Estate Investors Association was wonderful because I met all sorts of people who have been doing real estate for decades, which I love. And just, they were so open and willing to give information and be like, here, yeah, do this, do that. This is really great. Or talk to this attorney, or talk to that attorney, or talk to this person about this. And it was just, they were just there, like, no big deal. Where normally I feel like it is either pulling teeth or you have to pay out some dollar bills, guys. And I didn't have to do that this time. It was honestly just so wonderful to be around like-minded people who not only love real estate, but like get real estate, and not solely from a buyer and seller's point of view as far as like single family homes or even commercial, but really have the mindset of an investor. It made my little heart so happy. Finally, my last big accomplishment for the month was finding 2 end buyers. So as I wholesale a property, I need someone that will come in and purchase the property once I have it under contract. Those are called end buyers, and I was able to find 2 in the month of April. Now, they have certain parameters and requirements, so we'll see how it goes, but I am excited because I am out there, I'm networking, and I'm figuring things out. So we're moving along on our big goal for the quarter, and I am very excited about that. Now, when it comes to the lessons that I learned this month, there are several. Oh man, this month I learned so many things. I am just so grateful that God is so wonderful and that I had the time to reflect and to pray on a lot of things and think about a lot of things, and that God was speaking to me so that I could learn quickly, because I'm not a fan of the School of Hard Knocks. I'm so not a fan. Anyway, the first lesson that I learned is that the things that we are insecure about, or the things that we notice about ourselves that produce an insecurity, other people don't notice. They just don't notice, which to me blows my mind. Like, and I think a really good example, so I'll like do a little video editing and zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better, but my skin right now is super broken out. It's actually just really red. Like my shirt and my face match, which is crazy to me. They definitely shouldn't, but they do. And my face is just so red. And it's just some things that my body's going through and it's processing. But when it was doing this last month and I was like, oh my gosh, my face is just completely broken out. It was really, my eyes were swollen and puffy, and it was wild. To me, it was absolutely wild, and it made me so uncomfortable. And there were so many people that were like, oh, I didn't even notice. Wait, what? Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't even notice. Are you kidding me? I look like a lobster. What do you mean you didn't notice? People didn't notice. And that was just with my skin. There were other things as well that I was like, oh, that's really interesting that you don't notice that, because I notice it and it bothers me. And when it comes to our insecurities and the things that we are unsure of or uncomfortable with, we notice 100 times more than other people notice. And that was just a really good reminder and life lesson to myself again. Okay, so being that in April and moving forward, I am prioritizing my health, one of the things that I learned is that exercise, proper rest, and stress elimination are crucial when it comes to our health, repairing, rejuvenating, and really taking our health to that next level. You might be like, duh, that makes sense. There's, it's all over the news. All doctors recommend it. I unfortunately had, fortunately but unfortunately, was made aware of some things, and I realized that a lot of the health issues that I went through were due to a specific issue that I had. But so I'm thankful that that's come to light. At the same time, that issue was kind of tipped. The tipping point was stress. Like, significantly, the tipping point each time was stress. And so with that, I have just been very thankful to know that and be aware of it, and to now consciously realize, like, I'm getting way too stressed out about this. I need to make a change, and that's okay, because it's for the benefit of myself and my future. Also, I realized that when I would read books from a certain time period or watch movies from a certain time period, and they're like, oh, stress, oh my goodness. I'm like, these people just don't know how to handle life. No, they were just being healthy. I clearly have had some traumatic things happen to me. That's what that is. And I've moved on, or thought I did, but my body's like, hey, we're so stressed, you need to calm down. I'm like, oh, my bad. Okay, you guys, the third and biggest lesson that I learned this past month was the importance of staying prayed up. Oh my gosh, stay prayed up. April was an amazing month. It was also very emotional, very challenging, and honestly, I got spiritually jumped in April. It was wild. I will totally tell you guys the story if you'd like, but I'm still processing a lot of it, and it is crazy because the enemy attacks you in specific areas, and there are areas where you're weak, right? And so I know my areas, and he definitely attacked me there. But what was crazy, and the reason I say I got spiritually jumped, was because I got distracted with this cute shiny thing over here, or I got distracted with this thing over here, or with that thing or there. And I was taking care of these things. All of this was so busy that I was not in my word as diligently as I normally am. I wasn't spending my time with God in the morning. And so like normally what I do is I get up, I make my bed. Actually, I get up, I turn on praise and worship music, make my bed, and then I start. That's like the beginning of my time with God. So I start praying and just thanking him and being in his presence and doing worship, and it's really quite delightful. And as I was being distracted by all of these things, I would get up and I'd kind of send up a little smoke signal like, hey God, thank you for waking me up this morning. I'd say the Shema and I'd keep it pushing, right? And that, I believe, really let that was kind of like the crack in the door for the enemy to be like, oh cool, she's distracted, let me sneak in. Because I wasn't in the presence of God on a regular basis, and I wasn't in his word as consistently as I had been. When it came to, because I was distracted, all of a sudden all these things started happening, and it was like my life was just flipped. Like, you mean to tell me, I mean, there were things that I realized, like I hadn't been told the full truth on certain things. I realized that I had been lied to about other things. I realized that there were some things that were quite enjoyable distractions, but at the same time, it was a waste of time. Lessons learned from those distractions, so not a total waste of time, but not something that really, it didn't produce any fruit that was good. I learned lessons, but that's only by the grace of God. But like long term, there was no fruit. Oh, it was just such a distraction, and I'm so annoyed. And seriously, it is nothing but the grace of God that I was able to learn from these distractions, but those distractions opened the door spiritually for me to just get beat up. I mean, it was like one thing after another, and it was a lot. So my lesson is, the lesson I learned was when things come along, pray about them, because they may not be fully for us. They weren't for me. There were some distractions not for me at all. I had no business entertaining them. Let them go. They're not mine. And there are other distractions, they seemed like they were for me. Like, matter of fact, they seemed so perfect for me, but I didn't pray about them because I was so distracted with everything else that I didn't take it before God during our time together, which was my time in the morning, right? And so, a lot of lessons. Don't get distracted. And when there's something that could be a distraction, or something that might be something that you've been praying for, pray on it and make sure that it's really from God, and that God will confirm if it's for you or if it's not. And again, it wasn't a complete waste of time. I learned a lot of lessons, but those distractions, no bueno. For the month of May, I have 3 goals. I'm not gonna say 3 big goals, I have just 3 goals. The first goal is my main focus and my priority, and that is wholesaling my first property. So my actions and the things that I need to do, the things that my extracurricular activities are really going to be focused on wholesaling my first property. And then my second goal, my minor goal, is to continue improving my health, and specifically to implement a nightly routine. Because I've been so busy working 2 jobs and just doing the most, not managing my time and all of that, I have decided and mapped out. First, I've decided that I want to have a nightly routine to help myself and my body know, hey, time to wind down, decompress, relax, etc. And creating that space for myself mentally, emotionally, and physically. And that comes with a nightly routine. So I have 4 things on that nightly routine that I want to make sure I implement this month. And that's all I'm gonna focus on when it comes to my health. The third and final goal that I have is to continue growing Loren, Danielle, and Co. I am going to focus on creating the content for May and June for YouTube and Instagram. I am also going to focus on making sure that I have the videos edited and uploaded. And then I also want to have my first mini course. I've been saying this for a while, but it's time. I have the content, I have everything that I need to do it. I just need to be very specific and intentional when it comes to that. So those are my goals for this month. Thanks guys for hanging out with me until the end. These are my goals for the month. Please let me know down below what your goals are for the month. What are your top 3 goals? And let me know how you plan on accomplishing them. I will see you guys in the next video. Auf Wiedersehen. Adjust how I did the progress.